It's day number 1 at the California Mid-State Fair. Adam and Jeremy, the Cork Dorks, were here broadcasting live in Mission Square. 15C is the place to be. We got drink, we got food, and we got our friends from Brecken Estate. Damien, Rachel, welcome to the California Mid-State Fair, friends.
Great.
Happy to be here.
So honored to be pouring our wines on the first day of the show.
Heck yeah.
So we start off with the last sandwich, which is one of our favorites from you. Your Albarino is fantastic. We've got 100% Albarino in the glass first. But that first one, last sandwich, a great story to that. And it all happens on one of Damien's big cave dive adventures. And it's got a little Albarino. It's actually got a lot of Albarino. What, 70%?
75, I think.
75% and a little bit of Viognier.
Yeah, and you technically could call it an Albarino, but it's we call it the last sandwich.
So Albarino is in the glass now. This is 100%. Where do you get this fruit from, and why is Albarino a grape? Because I know it's not a state. That is something that you decided that you want to make sure that you present in your portfolio.
Well, you know exactly where it is because you drive past it every morning on your commute in, I think. Because if you come up Bryce Canyon, you could jump the fence. The grapes are right up against the fence, and you could steal all my grapes. So I'm not going to tell you where it is.
I'm gonna be patient and wait for you to put it in a bottle. Because I know it's going to taste way better than that. But that is a very, very interesting, cool spot for Albarino.
Yeah, look, it's going to be in that slow coastal appellation when that finally comes through. At the moment, it's just slow canning, so we call it Central Coast. But yeah, this is 100% from that vineyard. It's something that I stumbled across about 10 years ago and went, ooh, Albarino, that's kind of nice. And my wife didn't even know what an Albarino was. She went, an Alba whaty? And so we came out of the track led with our white program as Albarino, which everyone was doing nice, great Viogniers and Marsans and Roussins, but a lot of these are big winter whites. And it's outdoor. We've got this outdoor environment. It's al fresco dining at our place, if you like. You want something light and refreshing, and but characterful in the summer and in Paso. So we decided to leave it with Albarinos, and we've loved it. Never looked back. Headed up the Albarino summits that became festivals. Obviously, they've been on hold while the COVID thing's been going on. And the Albarino was so successful. Last year, we released it in, when did we release it? April?
Yeah.
Rachel?
Early May, I would say.
No, we didn't bottle till May, so it's June. And we sold out, but beginning of
2020
July.
was a blur for me.
I mean, it's such a great wine to go with shellfish, with seafood. And you think about where it's grown. I mean, it's within a mile of the beach. I mean, within the breakwater. I mean, it's right there in Pismo Beach.
Exactly.
I feel like I want to bet from someone by saying there's something else called Albarino. Isn't there?
Yes, and
What
no.
is-
So it's the same thing. It's just if you're Spanish or you're Portuguese.
Oh,
You have
okay.
a slightly different twist on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is it
Same
the
thing,
same
we
to
just
like
say different?
Zinfandel Primitivo in a way?
Right, in a way.
In essence, kind of the same thing.
Same.
Oh, so it's a
I don't
little
know.
bit different. They're like cousins.
No, they're really the same.
They're
Oh,
brothers
okay.
and sisters.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So it's
Albarino.
Alvarino in Portugal. Alvarino.
And that's what Vino Verde is, right?
Correct, but it's picked earlier.
Ali, bring the Vino Verde.
Yeah, Vino Verde this up.
It's
Yeah.
perfect weather for it. It's perfect weather for weather. I mean, for
And
wine like this.
Interestingly, the best ones in northern Spain and Portugal are within a mile or so of the coast. And so, again, here.
Can we do an Albarino Vino Verde style here on the Central
People
Coast?
do. People do.
Really?
Yeah. I think
So, I mean, the trick
Edgar
is to get that carbonation in there, that little bit of
This
that.
is like a light frizzante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it's got to be, probably like in the 11s too, right?
Right, and it's got sweetness to it. And, we're trying to, just for the health thing, we're moving away from sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet,
Can you make a dry Vino Verde or no?
It would be tough.
It would be tough. It needs to
Yeah.
have a little bit
You
of.
need that
Right.
sugar.
Yeah.
So, and how do we get those bubbles? Is that like in the fermentation process? We just kind of cap
Yeah,
it
it's
early?
a natural thing. It's basically,
Okay.
you're basically capturing it early and sticking a cork in it.
Yeah, it is fun to drink though, because it's like getting bubbles, but it's not full
Right.
bubbles.
Just pound
It's like
it.
pre-bubbles,
Yeah.
It's like JV,
JV bubbles.
Before you
JV
go
bubbles.
varsity, you got to get to JV.
Yeah, it's
right?
like JV bubbles.
Yeah, well, Albarino is obviously very fun, and it's done very well here, and most of it is out of Edna Valley. We see some of it in Paso Robles up by the airport. We see some on the west side a little bit.
Right, a little bit. I think if you planted it on the far west, it would probably do really, really
Very
well.
coastal, right?
Yeah, it's just persuading somebody to do it. I haven't got enough space.
How about Lucas Pope? We had to talk to him
Yeah.
about doing it.
No,
They've got
yeah.
that vineyard right up there
I
in San
was
Simeon.
talking to somebody right at the head of the Templeton Gap, right? That's as
Yeah.
cold and windy as you
Ah,
get in the Templeton
yes.
Gap. And he's on board. He's going to plant some, but he may, whether he's going to keep it all for himself is another thing.
Do you want more ocean influence? Do you need some security with some heat? What else does it need?
It's hang time for me.
Okay.
So yeah, the cooler you are, the closer to the ocean, the more hang time you get. You often get the sugars quite quickly, but you're waiting for the acids and the flavors to come into balance.
Hey, what are we doing next? Are we going to the Haggis Basher? What do we got here? We got
We got a lot of good ones.
we got the what is it? The Federal Underclass?
Ooh, feral.
Careful, I say
Feral
that.
underclass.
Yeah, some people mispronounce that terribly.
Yeah, well, I should have my glasses on like you do. Or should we do the Maritimes? Where do you want to go?
Let's save the best till last. Let's go. No, they're all good. Let's talk about the Haggis Basher then.
Okay, so what is a Haggis Basher?
A Haggis Basher is a wine that will stand up to one of the strongest sausages type things, which is
Oh, wow.
haggis.
Oh, sure, right. And
Right.
haggis is like, what is that? Pig intestines or
It's
something?
the sheep intestine. It's
Sheep,
the
okay.
national dish of Scotland that you would have on
I think they have it here at 15C.
Burns night, right? No, it's banned in the US. You can't.
Oh, wow.
You can't contradict me on.
It must be really good.
Pairs well with haggis
All the
because
best things are.
you'd have to jump on a plane with your bonny wee lassie and take a bottle of the Haggis Basher all the way to Scotland and try it there. But it's a northern Rhone style Syrah with a little bit of co-fermented Viognier in it. And we don't do it every year because the Viognier doesn't always come in at the same time as the Syrah. And
What does that co-firm offer? What is it? Was it due to the Syrah? What does the Viognier present?
So when I was at school, co-ferments were all the rage, and they seem to have dropped off a little bit. But two things happen. It's a co-pigmentation factor, so it gives you more color. It binds the color.
So even though it's a white wine grape, its
Yeah.
skins offer more color.
But for a warm day like today, you want a little bit of freshness in your Syrah because it just lightens it up a little bit. Sure. It gives the acid a little bit of more zing to it. And so that's what the Viognier does. It has a kind of mandarin skin kind of flavor.
A little peppery
on
too,
top,
though,
yeah.
right? Which is kind of nice. You get that spice in there. So if you're eating like something that has a lot of
Yeah.
fat in it, like a sausage, I could totally see how that would break
And
that
this
down.
is one of my favorite wines at the moment. You know, my palate changes. Hey, it depends what I'm having for dinner. But, you know, the time of year, the vintage, you know, what I've just been tasting, all sorts of things. But right now, this is one of my personal favorites. This is the Haggis Basher.
Very nice. And we're talking about Syrah, a little co-ferment with Viognier.
That's really good wine.
Sorry, I got pepperoni in my mouth. You know, the thing is that you can pick up these
Does it
charcuterie
go well with
plates.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
Grab one.
Yeah, it goes well with the
And
sausage.
then, you know, there's a little
That's great.
truffle salami here, too. And then, I don't know what that is, but, you know, prosciutto type
It's
stuff.
like charcuterie stuff.
But Allie and the folks here at 15C do such a great job with these charcuterie plates. And it's like, come on. We go to the fair. When I grew up going to the fair, we got something called a Krusty Puppet. It was a great corn dog. It
What'd you
really
just call
was.
it?
A Krusty Puppet.
Hold on.
A crusty
Hold on.
puppet.
That's what. Oh, pop,
Rachel,
pop, pop. Just
Rachel just walked away.
I did, actually. And with that, it's been lovely, guys. Thank you so much. I'm out.
But no, it was called a Krusty Puppet. You know, they had a hot dog, a cup. That's what it was called in Washington State, where I
Never
grew up.
heard of it. Never heard of it.
Anyways, but I mean, you know, but you come here and you get prosciutto and you get truffle salami and you get these great pepperonis and cheeses and you know, it's only at 15C. They have beers you're not going to taste anywhere else. Of course, the wines from the Central Coast Wine Competition, and it's really going to be great. Tonight we got Mark Adams hanging out with us, and we can't wait for that show. It's coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. Make sure you get down here. MCA, one-time spaceman, and if you know Bobby Fox, I know he's going to be here. Because they're going to play. So.
He texted me. He's like, "What time does Mark go on?"
Exactly.
I'm like, "He goes on at 4, bro. Come see the Cork Dorks."
All right, we're going to come back. We're going to have more with Brecken Estate. Their website is breckenestate.com. They're on Vineyard Drive. We got the Haggis Basher in the glass. We're going to sip on that a little bit. We'll come back. We'll introduce you to some more wines in just a minute. It's the Cork Dorks live from Mission Square on the Krush.